What you get for the money. Today in upstate New York, a couple brings some Soho chic into their newly renovated loft. And in Toledo, Ohio, a spacious colonial that comes with lots of luxurious perks. 6 homes for $200,000. Just ahead on what you get for the money. Welcome to What You Get for the Money. I'm Mike Siegel. Our first homeowner started his first business at age 12. By 21, the young entrepreneur and his fiancée began renovating a strip of old industrial buildings an hour outside of Ithaca, New York. What they got was an exciting new business venture and one cool loft. About 30 years ago, an excess of abandoned warehouses turned into residential lofts and began to make Soho into one of New York's hippest, albeit most expensive, neighborhoods. And in a way, Soho's revitalization explains what Ari Meisel and fiancée Anna Temin are doing 3 hours upstate in Binghamton, New York.
Ari and I live in Soho part of the time and in Binghamton part of the time.
One of the things that is appealing about Binghamton, especially compared to a city like New York, is that the cost of living here is about 1/10 of what it is in New York City.
And for Ari, a 24-year-old self-employed real estate developer, the commute's not really an issue. As for Anna,
I work for Ari, and so basically anywhere he goes, I go. So we set up our office where we are. I love coming here, and I love everything that the city has to offer, from its quiet surroundings to its cultural appeal.
plus there's plenty of work in Binghamton, a town that reminds Ari of the Soho of his childhood.
This is Soho 30 years ago, basically. It's a small, quaint kind of town with some really interesting shops that you wouldn't expect in a town this size. They have the best fudge here, and the art galleries too. They're really coming up a lot with a lot more art galleries. It just reminds me of what Soho was like when I grew up there. It's a big town with a small town feeling.
To put his money where his mouth was, Ari took on almost $2 million in construction loans for a bank of 8 buildings less than 10 minutes from downtown.
I originally found these buildings, which were built in the 1880s. They were cigar factories primarily, and then a meat packing company. And then I've taken 3 of the buildings and turned them into Soho-style luxury lofts. Our particular loft is actually right here.
At 1,100 square feet, Ari and Anna's loft is one of the smallest in the building. But regardless of size, Ari's design never strayed from the loft concept.
You walk into this really large open space, which is the whole point. It's supposed to kind of hit you. And the spaces in this loft, as with most lofts, are defined by the furniture. So the pool table is kind of its own area. The couch makes up the living room, and the bed defines the bedroom, even though we don't have a wall around our bedroom. The bathroom is the only actual room in the whole place, and that makes it kind of a center point that everything radiates around.
Ari also worked around the building's original structure.
We kept a lot of the original elements of the building, like this hemlock column, which then ended up being a set point for me to create the rest of the kitchen. It's there anyway. You're not going to take it out, so either it's going to be right in the middle of your sink, or you're going to make it a corner of the kitchen.
Ari designed the gourmet kitchen with a chef in mind, himself.
Usually Ari will be cooking while I'll be practicing my pool.
There's just one thing missing.
We had a dining room table when we first moved in, and we got rid of it, and we never bought another one.
That's right.
Unfortunately, we don't have the very kind of sit-down dinners that are recommended for healthy relationships, but
sometimes we cover over the pool table to make a big table.
As for the bathroom, it's the only real room in the place.
In designing this bathroom, I wanted to make one entire wall out of glass block, like here, and I had originally purchased a glass door to go around the shower, but we couldn't really figure out how to attach it, so I ended up leaving it completely open.
Ideally, I would have even let the bathroom open, but I needed some privacy, I guess.
Although Anna wasn't involved in the initial design, she's a big fan of the loft lifestyle.
When I met Ari, he was just putting the finishing touches on this loft.
I was still doing some sandblasting, actually.
Yeah, and I helped him with that, which was actually very fun. It was the first time I wore a construction hat, and I was with the boys and the crew.
As for the other buildings, Ari's still overseeing the construction.
This is the exact process I had to go through with my loft. You usually have to clear it out right down to the bare bones and then build it up from there. But I still love demolition. This is better than any therapy you can buy, I'll tell you that.
And although you can buy a finished condo in Ari's building for less than $200,000, for him, the project has been nothing short of priceless.
This was the first really big thing for me. This was everything and my all. I got broken bones, a lot of debt, and a really beautiful project that's turned out to be everything I've hoped it could be and more.
So for less than 200 grand, you can get a Soho-style loft in Binghamton, New York. 1,100 square feet, 1 bed, and 1 bath, with luxurious modern detailing and plenty of old-fashioned personality in the heart of Binghamton's urban renewal. Binghamton is home to Binghamton University, which is part of the State University of New York system. The school has been lauded as the premier public university of the Northeast. Coming up, a classic colonial that came with a killer price tag.
We paid $102,000 for it.
And in Atlanta, an architect in training made her home her personal project. Just ahead on what you get for the money. Welcome back to What You Get for the Money. In Toledo, our next homeowners wanted a fixer-upper, and not just because of the cheap price tag. The couple wanted to put their own artistic stamp on their home, and after 3 years of work, they created a home that's truly theirs. Located in the northwest corner of Ohio, just off Lake Erie, Toledo is one of the state's best-kept secrets.
We love being close to the river. We love the park that's nearby. Toledo is very down to earth. It's a very simple city with good, kind people, friendly people.
And it's hard not to love the home prices. Toledo is one of the most affordable housing markets in the country. Just ask Joseph Brewer and Bridget Adams what they paid for this classic colonial.
We paid $102,000 for it.
Let's see, 1,700 square feet, 3 bedrooms, hardwood floors, and a pool for 100 grand? Holy Toledo!
This is a pretty big house compared to some of my friends who live in other cities, and they can't believe how cheap it was.
When they come to visit, they get their own 250 square foot room, and that's a lot of our friend in Manhattan. That's probably her whole apartment.
Joseph and Bridget are professional photographers and have their own business together. The married couple's first home gives them the space and, well, separation they need.
We both used to work here actually, but we found that if you're going to live together and work together, maybe you should have separate workspaces. So I kicked him out to the office, and now I get to work upstairs.
And I'm happy because I got an 800 square foot downtown office.
When the couple isn't working, you'll often find them wandering the neighborhood with their 3 or more dogs.
We also do rescue work. We foster homeless dogs kind of in between the shelter system and their new homes. They're forever homes. Actually, these 2 were fosters of ours that we then adopted because we fell in love. You can see why.
That happens a lot.
The couple and the dogs love the tree-lined streets.
It seemed like they tried to preserve the trees and the way the area was before the houses went in. There's actually a street just around the corner where there's a tree right in the middle of the street. Instead of just taking it down, they built the street around it.
And from inside the house?
Every window that you look out of gives you a great view of another tree. Feels like you're kind of up in the clouds.
Hey, looks like the dogs also appreciate the view. Joseph and Bridget have spent the last 3 years putting their own personal signature on the home. The kitchen got a complete makeover on a budget.
The kitchen we completely gutted down to the studs, completely redid everything ourselves. The investment was less than $8,000. We built in lots and lots of storage. I love these sliding cabinets because they hold a bunch of my stuff and kind of show it off. They're easy to slide, and I don't have to open a door and hit somebody in the head.
Other rooms received simple cosmetic makeovers.
This is our bedroom. We call it the Tiffany room because of the color, obviously. But there's a lot of crystal, kind of a little bit showy. We sort of like that. Bridget monogrammed her little bee on there for Bridget. We got this at a flea market for $50 in pretty rough shape, but just added some paint and some crystals, and it's just amazing how it comes to life.
We're in my closet now. It was actually the smallest bedroom in the house, but we converted it into my closet and dressing room because I have a lot of stuff and I wanted one place to put it all. I like pink, so we did a lot of pink in here and a lot of shoe themes.
As hard as the couple worked inside, they're also proud of the outside.
Seems like this house has a lot of outdoor spirit, especially in the summertime. There's just a whole other vibe that we can enjoy with the pool and the greenhouse, and it just seems like some days I'm just out there all day, and I'm always happy by the end of the day with all the sunshine I've soaked up, and maybe I've saved a plant or two.
And it's a great place to entertain.
Love to go out on the porch with friends in the evening. I think it's wonderful to go out there and have drinks.
And that's usually how we end our parties. Everyone's kind of out there. Bridget would never admit this, but she's a fantastic cook, and she's always trying new things, and I think it's a great excuse to have a dinner party.
In all, it's a pretty sweet setup in a town where quality of life is still affordable.
I love Toledo because you can buy a house for $100,000. We get to live a lot better in Toledo than we would in any other city, I think.
Speaking of great deals, here's what you get for under $200,000 in Toledo. A newly renovated 1,700 square foot colonial with 3 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, a backyard pool, and lots of room for dogs.
You get a lot for your money in Toledo.
A new landmark just opened in Toledo, the Veterans Glass City Skyway. It's a bridge that connects the north and east sides of town. At 400 feet at its highest point, it's intended to be the new signature of the city's skyline. Next up, one woman bought her Atlanta loft because of the writing on the walls.
It's such cool original art, and that's what I think of it. It's art to me.
And later, Windy City living without the inflated price tag. Just ahead on what you get for the money. Welcome back to What You Get for the Money. When you're going to school, your apartment or dorm is often just a place to crash. But our next homeowner in Atlanta is an architect in training. So her loft had to have a little something extra, like charm. You can tell by the beautiful old architecture we're in the South, Georgia to be exact, and heading to A-Town, the ATL, the Big Peach, Atlanta, or as architect intern Cara DiPiero calls it, home.
Downtown Atlanta is fantastic. You've got a lot of modern buildings juxtaposed with, all of the old historic buildings. Right behind me is the Kessler City Lofts. I'm on the 5th floor. It is one of the older buildings in downtown. It's a historic building. I'm definitely in downtown Atlanta. Capitol Building is just 4 blocks that way. It's a great area to be in. I'm right in the middle of everything in downtown Atlanta. I am actually only 7 minutes from work, so it's really close. I did that on purpose. Knowing Atlanta drivers and Atlanta traffic. 7 minutes to work. It's easy. It's real city living.
As a Boston native, Cara wanted that historic feel. For just $187,000, she found it in a 1,500 square foot condo with plenty of character.
As soon as I walked in here, I knew. And I had, of course, limits of what I was looking for. I wanted a loft type space, and brick was hands down absolutely the selling point for me. This used to be a department store when it was first originally built. This is my building right here, the one that says Davison's, Paxson. This is just an awesome old photo of what Peachtree Street used to look like. My unit is actually down here on the other side of the building. This unit was vacant when I came to look for places, and this wall is what totally sold me. It used to be an exterior wall. It's got an old advertisement on the wall. It says, "Women's and Mrs. Ready-to-Wear Garments." It's such cool, original art, and that's what I think of it. It's art to me.
At almost 14 feet tall, that's one big work of art. There's also some huge windows.
I think they're about 10 feet. I haven't actually gotten on a ladder and measured them, but obviously it gives you huge, huge views. I get great afternoon sunlight that comes in here. The floors have fantastic character. I haven't refurbished the floors. There are, squishy spots that makes a lot of noise, and there's scratches everywhere, but I think that just adds character. I love the floors, paint and all.
With a 100-year-old building, you're going to have a lot of character, and even more, art.
This is my middle bedroom, and really it's my guest bedroom and my office. And these pipes were original. They're non-functioning, I don't hear anything in them. And they were black when I moved in, so I painted them this maroon color because I think they're awesome. I think they're great, and I wanted them to stand out and not hide so much with the black.
And as an architect, you know Kara had to leave her own imprint.
This bathroom I actually designed. It used to be a tub shower, and we pulled the tub shower out, blew out the wall, added about 4 feet into the master bedroom, and had all this tile put in. Bought the jacuzzi tub, had that put in. Ceiling is only 9 feet in here. Obviously, I have no shower door. It's pretty big for a shower. It's called a wet room, really. Everyone that comes over kind of wants to take a shower. The area of my sinks, actually, I redesigned myself as well. I actually finished the concrete countertop myself. You either love it or you hate it, really. I like it because, it's really easy to clean. It matches the rest of the unit. There's exposed everything, so why not expose some countertop? So another benefit of living here is that we have our own gym, which is really nice because, as you can see, it's just me. So come out here, sweat, get out what you can, and you're by yourself. I love working out up here. It's close to home. Come up here, do a couple workouts, go back home, shower, leave, whatever you need to do. Nice and quick.
And when she wants to spend more time, it's down to the river for some rowing.
This is the Chattahoochee. It's approximately 25 minutes from downtown Atlanta, from my house. I'm an assistant coach for a high school team. Ease up the drive. Into the catch. It's a lot of fun. It's a great exercise for kids. Slow it down even more. Okay, guys, remember your posture today, okay?
After a day with the guys on the lake, it's time for the adults to relax.
Most of my friends actually live here in the building, and it's fantastic. So they just come over and we watch TV, watch movies, have game nights. This is something that you drink out of. You have some kind of plural. It's a lot of fun having everyone live so close. This whole building is a fantastic community.
So in downtown Atlanta, for just over $200,000, you get 1,500 square feet, 2 bedrooms.